What's up, folks? Welcome to the Modern Truths Throwback Thursday. I'm MJ, here with Alex Storm, and we're going to do what we always do on Throwback Thursdays. We're going to talk about an old school movie. So, Alex, what are we talking about today?
So, this week we watched Night of the Living Dead.
Boom!
It came out in 1968. It was directed by George A. Romero. It starred Dwayne... I don't remember.
It's okay. You know what? It doesn't matter who starred. I'm sorry, guys. If your interviewer's still alive, sorry. It happens.
Yeah.
The star of this movie was George Romero. It's okay. That's what really matters.
But yeah, I realized as we were watching this, I thought I'd seen this movie, and it turns out it's the first time I've watched the entire movie. This movie used to be like on TV or like on the horror channel or something when I was a kid, and I never sat down and watched the whole thing. I knew some standout scenes because I remembered seeing them. I remembered the chair going out the door and lighting it on fire. I'm thinking that was probably a bad idea, which I still thought this time. But watching the movie beginning to end, I realized there's a lot going on there. It's actually a cool movie.
A lot going on, for sure. I just want to start off by talking about the fact this movie did come out in 1968. Then we're going to reference one of our previous videos, the Rosemary's Baby video, which came out in, I think it was either 68 or 69, I can't quite remember. And the thing about the difference in quality of just pure, cinematic quality between those two movies, this movie is black and white. Now, obviously, in 1968, color was available. So why was it in black and white? I'm sure one of you can tell us why. I don't know. I got the impression this is an independent film. I'm not sure. I feel like I know things about this movie, but I've forgotten them as far as the history of the movie. But let's just talk about how it all came together. So the performance in this movie, pretty bad. The directing in the movie, suspect. The version of the movie we watch, the actual stock, the film stock, is really grainy, really crappy. I'm very curious. I mean, we would tell you, free advertising. We watched this on Netflix, but now I'm curious to see if there is a cleaner version of this out there somewhere. If the Netflix transfer is the best version they have, because I mean, you got screen tearing, you have artifacting all around, all this stuff, and I'm just really curious. I'm just like, this movie feels like one of those movies when it was made, no one expected it to become anything, and this movie is essentially the grandfather of like the modern zombie film as we know it. So it's a really important film. That's what I'm saying.
But despite the poor quality, there is something really cool about this film, which is that the main actor is a black man, and he ends up getting to sort of run the whole scene and tell these white people what to do and keep them in check and be like the power figure, the hero for the whole movie that you're cheering for.
And this movie was shot pre-desegregation.
Yes, and it was, yeah. So I would be really curious to know the impact of this film at the time when it came out. If people were shocked by this, if they were appalled by this, if people didn't like this. Because I believe when we talked about Rosemary's Baby, we talked about how it was banned in like certain theaters. Oh no, that was Warriors. Never mind, way later. Getting my movies confused. But I'm curious of like what the reaction was from so much of the population of the U.S. at this time. This would have been really monumental.
Well, there's a large part of me that thinks that this is the reason why this movie became a thing. Because in and of itself, I mean, again, it's not a great film. I have to say that, even though I love it. It's a 5-star film for me, but it has issues, and this is the case. This is one of the beauties. I just got a quick digression about horror as a genre. It can get away with things other genres can't get away with. And it's, to some extent, comedy as well. And like, horror movies don't have to be super well made to still be really good horror movies. And I think that's where this falls into play. Like I said, the performances are suspect. The best performance is the lead, in my opinion. But it's just, again, some weird directing, some weird editing. One of the biggest issues with this movie is the action directing. It's abysmal, okay? Like, yeah, any of the fight sequences, anything that looks like it needs to have any form of impact or anything. Like in that first scene where Johnny falls and smashes his head against the tombstone and dies, you're like, did something happen to him? He'll get right back up, right? Because it does not look in any way, shape, or form like anything significant occurred. And that is sort of a recurring theme throughout the entire film. It's just a lack of impact. But this is the beginning of George A. Romero's career taking place in this zombie verse, the Romero-verse as it's known now. And every one of his films is an allegory. It is it has some social commentary of some sort. And this one obviously was commentary about segregation and just, the treatment of people in general. I guess we didn't really talk about spoilers, but this is going to be a spoiler alert for you right now. If you haven't seen this movie, you really should. The ending of the film, which I think is significant, okay? And there's a lot to read into it, But the black man survives. He's the only person that survives in the house. He gets out. He's walking towards the window as a search party with a bunch of men with guns shoot him. And then the powerful image of the film ending there and the credits having these still images that really evokes the same thoughts you would have with any of the images you've seen from any sort of like, you know, fights or brutality images you see of the men with the hooks dragging his body out. Like there was something very powerful there. And that's sort of where he's going with the message of this film as it pertains to the reality of the world at that time, you know?
Yeah, it was definitely had a huge impact. And as much as like, there were so many things in this movie that I was expecting, and that was one of them. I expected him to get shot. You see the men approaching. You see that they're just shooting anybody who is coming towards them. They're not really, they're like, yeah, they're all zombies, that's fine. So you just assume that they're going to shoot him. Like, you see it coming. But, yeah, I wasn't expecting those final scenes with the hooks, and, you know, you could feel that. That was real.
Well, yeah, but I think that, again, I mean, I kind of want to go back to, it's like, it's very important, and it was not an accident. Frankly, it seems like most of the budget came, he spent it on that last sequence of the movie so he could get that many extras. These guys in their flannel shirts walking around, this search party of all white men going around and shooting these others, these people who aren't supposed to be here, with no regard, no concern, no, hey, are you one of us? Are you okay? Just boom, shoot first, ask questions later. And again, that's not an accident, and there is something there that I'm not going to jam down anyone's throat, but hey, you know, there's a message going on there.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, I mean, we always like to talk about diversity. This movie is lacking in diversity with the exception of the main character, which is still more than you can say for most movies that came out at that time. And again, the fact that there's a black lead is insane when you consider some of the things that happen. He slaps a white woman, just like, sit down, you know? Yeah. And then he gets in a fight with a white man and just beats the crap out of him.
He doesn't get in a fight with him, he just beats him up. The white man wasn't defending himself.
Yeah, so he is just straight up running stuff. He's like, we're going to stay upstairs. You go down to the cell if you want to. If you do, I'm going to be up here with the food. Work it out. You know what I'm saying? He is totally in command. And one of the coolest things about it is that he is portrayed as being in command, and he is in command. There is no question as an audience member that he is the most competent person in this scenario. And that is also significant.
Yeah, that's awesome. But the women struggled a lot in this movie. I was really, really relieved that it wasn't just the one girl the entire movie, the one blonde girl who was like traumatized and just super annoying. I was so thankful that there were other women who could be part of it, and like, not that they were any good or very helpful, but the girlfriend who ended up getting supposedly blown up in the car with her boyfriend, like, at least she was like down to like go out and try to do something.
I thought, you know what?
Yeah, okay.
We're you know.
It wasn't great. Women were not meant to hold their own at this time. And
truly
they were
pick your poison to drink, because I thought she did one of the dumbest things in the movie. Talking about, he's like, oh, I'm gone, okay, and then right before the dude's getting ready to close the door, no, wait, I'm gonna come with you. And she just runs and just sits there, and now like the black dude's like, I need to get in the car, man. What you doing? I gotta grab on the side. Like, this was not part of the plan. Yeah. Why are you running out here? This makes no sense. And then again, completely idiotic. He pulls the gas out and just splashes it all over the place like it's water. Oh shit, we got a torch. I think I should just splash gas on the car or the torch, because, you know, that makes sense. It's just like, it is literally, it is hilarious when you look at this, how quickly they just blow themselves up, basically. Like, oh, the car's on fire, let's drive away with it on fire. That's gonna turn it, oh. But again, to go back to the shitty action, it's like, cut of them inside the car, cut away to this flash, door open, dude, his leg is like hanging out the back of the car, nothing there. No people inside the car. No dummies, nothing. Brutal, okay? Brutal. All right, but
it's okay. The impact was still there. You still got that the car blew up.
You said supposedly. I'm not sure. I'm honestly, if this was a TV show movie from this day and age, you actually would assume that they got out based on what you saw.
True,
that's
what
I
would
say that.
People in 1968 were not looking for the bodies. They were like, whoa, they blew up a car.
Looking for the bodies, exactly. So I guess one thing we definitely talk about is the zombies in general. The movie's about zombies, okay? So obviously, The Walking Dead, most popular show on TV right now, zombies are a thing in our society right now. But this, again, was sort of the first big mainstream zombie movie. And we got to talk about what the zombies do in this, because frankly, it's been a while since I've seen this. I kind of forgot. There are certain things that I don't like in my zombies, and these zombies did some of the things I don't like. And so I'm thinking, hey man, if this is where the zombies came from, and I don't like what these zombies are doing, then I'm wrong, right? I got it wrong. So zombies these days are not afraid of fire. anything you see this day and age, fire is never an issue. It's never a deterrent to the zombies. They run right at a flame. They don't care. But zombies are straight up afraid of flames in this movie. Like, it is something that if you have a torch, if you have a flame around you, it will propel them away from you, okay? So that's one thing I actually like. If I make a zombie movie, I'm bringing the flames back, okay? The other thing is the zombies are much smarter in this movie than just about any zombie I can think of. And I think about Day of the Dead, which is Romero's, I think, 4th movie, where the zombies are like playing instruments and stuff and communicating, and I was like pissed. I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. But I'm like, you know what? It's not that far away from where they are in this movie. So again, maybe I got to retract some of my rage, because they were picking up bricks and breaking windows.
They were using tools.
They were using tools to club things and to kill people. You know, these zombies, you know, despite their hunger for flesh, actually, I would say are up on par with, like, I would say, you know, modern zombies are like dumber than a dog, right? Is the best way to put it. These zombies are smarter than everything except for humans. That's what I would say, you know, which makes them much more dangerous, you know, when you start getting the bigger numbers.
That just reminded me of one of my favorite scenes in the movie where they're eating the people after they were like cooked in the car. And they're just walking around with handfuls of what looks like fried chicken. I'm like, man, these zombies are super smart. They know that the humans are better if they're cooked. They aren't afraid. They're like, oh no, those ones are burned up. They're like, cooked meat, cooked meat.
I thought that was really funny too. And a nice special effect of actually having a drumstick, just a turkey leg, just, you know, boom, make it happen. But
They had the hand though. They made sure we knew.
They threw one hand and it took them long enough. The entrails was just, I don't know what. Yeah, so he got the worst part, man. Chitlins? Human chitlins? Anyway, but yeah, so again, I don't know. But these zombies, smarter than most zombies these days, and that again makes them pose a much greater threat. And you know, I gotta talk about something like Fear the Walking Dead, which is, you know, going on right now, and they're just figuring out the zombie apocalypse. These characters, they've never heard of a zombie. They don't know what to do against a zombie. They can't even accept the fact that zombies are a thing. And this movie right here, pretty much, it's called The Night of the Living Dead because it happens over a night, okay? And when it happens, they're like, okay, we got it. Now, they actually don't do a good job of shooting anybody in the head, like our main characters don't, but it is established that you do need to shoot them in the head to kill them.
There's the newscast to sort of give you the context and explain everything that's going on. And I imagine having, like, if you had never seen a zombie movie and didn't really know what zombies were besides this imaginary thing, seeing this movie in 1968, you would be really curious about what kills them, where they come from, like, what do you do in this world? Whereas now we're inundated with zombie stuff, and so we're like, oh yeah, I know like 10 different ways to like take care of a zombie invasion in my house. But people in 1968, this would have been a crazy concept for them.
And again, making it all the more frustrating that in 2015, Fear the Walking Dead has characters who don't know how to kill zombies. It's like the dumbest shit ever. I mean, zombies are now like 80 fucking years old, basically. Like, dude, we know, do better. Like, the idea that he said, I create a universe in which zombie fiction doesn't exist. Man, I don't even care if zombie fiction don't exist. Video games exist, something exists. You damn sure know, shoot it in the headshot, man. Like, headshots were not a thing back in the 70s, straight up. You can just watch any movies, 80s, all that stuff. You can look back and you can really see, like, headshots in cinema, not a common thing. Not a thing everybody was doing. And these days, headshots abound. Shoot them in the head. When in doubt, shoot them in the head, okay?
So
anyway,
what's the answer?
I'm going to start complaining about a different show now. But yeah, man, so.
It's worth watching.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead, horror classic. You know, if you're not a big black and white fan, get over yourself. You need to start watching some black and white movies because there are a lot of good ones. This is one of them, okay? This is where it all started. So if you think you're a zombie fan, check it out. And when you do, let us know what you think in the comments. We really appreciate it. I don't know. I guess that's going to conclude our discussion of Night of the Living Dead. So again, I am MJ. And you can follow me on Twitter at @TheOnlyMJ. She is...
I'm Alex Storm. You can follow me at AlexStormTMT, as in The Modern Truth.
And TheModernTruth.com is where you can find all of our Throwback Thursday videos, our movie discussion videos, and all the news you need to know. Thanks again for tuning in, folks. Take care.